Oh man, I hurted myself. Okay. Download today. Today's download, well, I was in Walmart with the rest of the damned. I realized I'm in hell too. We all in hell. It sneaked up on us. And this is that video I've been threatening to make about the generational curse and what is it and how does it work and stuff. It's something that Satan did. He got into the Masons, okay? If you're a descendant of a Mason or from a family of Masons, you're really in the soup. Because they infiltrated those groups. And then they started cultivating karma, bad karma, up in there. So, you know, like the kind of karma that's cultivated in those families is really twisted, okay? And it's the kind that gets you all tangled up and entwined in these excruciatingly painful, emotionally painful situations. I'm munching on some nuts. The snap is snacking. Snack and snap right now. So you got caught up in this karmic mess because you're from one of these families, but you know, it's like the family, it's like, you know, it's a crime family, it's like the Corleone family, you know. If you know anything about World War II, you know that at one point the Allies brought in the mafia to help fight the Nazis because the mafia had such bloody effective tactics, you know, sneaky, backstabbing kind of stuff, and then that took hold and became the legacy of these families over here after the war, and they let the Nazis back in too. I mean, come on, okay, they did. They brought all the secrets from their weird experiments over here, and they still were doing them in the labs, the medical laboratories, and doing them to people, and unleashing the biowarfare on everybody and all that. That's where all that came from. But anyway, the point of creating all that twisted karma was to get everyone entangled and enmeshed so that no one could get out. You can't get out. You're in hell realm anyway, okay? To anyone who thinks they're not, you know, you're deluded. You came in here and you were lost at sea, you were lost in the ocean of samsara, and you know, you're here in Walmart with the rest of the damned, okay? And if you think you're better than everybody else, think again. And all this hopium on all these YouTube channels about, oh, somebody stole your inheritance, you know. That's all just a waiting game. Because part of what Satan does to torment souls in hell is makes them wait and wait and wait. And gives you endless false hope, okay? And that's why you haven't heard back from your family. That's why you haven't had your day in court. That's why you haven't gotten your inheritance. And so if you're sitting around waiting for it, you're just another one of the damned. Yeah. Yeah, think again. So that's it. You got caught up in the generational curse, And that's what your inheritance is, the generational curse. Your inheritance is to be swallowed up in the whole hell realm again. And the only way to get out of there is love. That's the only way to get out, is if you start helping other people or just trying to do your best. You know, I got a mulligan. I had to have a talk with the Most High last spring because I was falling down again, and I still fall down. But I made a deal to stop puffing the weed, and you know, today in Walmart, I noticed one of the cashiers was, I was like, where have I seen her before? I realized she was somebody that used to work at the weed store when I was going in there. And she was a real bitch, you know. It suddenly occurred to me, I got the download, she got laid off. Because the pot shops aren't doing that good anymore. They're not, their business isn't that great. And that's because there were too many of them. Down here in the Principality, you know, they started using up all the, what they say is precious water that, you know, your average citizen is against the law to collect it in a cistern in your yard if it rains. They're letting the pot business suck up all the water, and they're letting crooks do the grows and using slave labor to do it, you know, and, you know, the whole state's gone to criminal madness, this state of New Mexico. It's just one big mess of crime. It's messy, messy, messy. Everywhere you look, it's a mess, okay? They've even putting up a barbed wire fence along the border with Texas. Texas is putting up a barbed wire fence to keep out people from New Mexico. Thanks, Texas. I mean, that's for migrants, but you know, I wonder who's going to be able to cross the border for how long, how much longer, you know? Are we all stuck in here? I was listening to a YouTube video about how your crooked family stole your inheritance again this morning. And it got hijacked by one of those really long YouTube commercials. And I was kind of sitting in the sun drowsing anyway, and all of a sudden I kind of became half conscious, and I realized I was listening to a sermon about the rapture. Well, it was actually an ad, one of those really long ads that hijacks your video, and if you're not paying attention, you're like, duh, you start listening to that, and you get lost in there. So I started listening to it, and it started making sense to me in a weird way. You know, it started making sense. It was talking about the tribulation. When is the tribulation going to start? Or did it start already? And you can see endless discussion about that in various places on the internet. Are we in the tribulation right now? When does it start? Well, I'll tell you one thing. We're in Armageddon. We're in the Armageddon phase. I'm pretty sure about that. You know, in the apocalypse, all that. The four horsemen. What were they? Plague was one of them. We're there. We done passed there. We got into Armageddon because I heard the other day a biblical verse, something about how the kingdom of heaven, the gates of the kingdom of heaven has to be taken by storm or something like that. And isn't that what it feels like right now? You know, the Satanists and the principalities, they sneaked up on everybody, and they took over everything from up underneath, using a crooked Masonic structure that's like a mafia underneath everything. And they started doing the most evil stuff you can ever think of, okay? Which is, I think, what this town is full of. And so are you doing your job? Are you doing anything? I'm going to link you once again to that Stevie Wonder song, You Haven't Done Nothing. That song's from 1974. That's a long time ago, and things are still like that. It's still like that. Still like that. It's still like that. It's still like that. That's another song I have linked down below. Diggable Planets. Yeah, we're in Armageddon right now. We're trying to get into the kingdom of heaven, but we can't because this, Satan's blocking blocking everybody and trying to spring a tyrannical authoritarian government on everybody so that you can't do nothing. And that the video was talking about how some people are going to starve to death because they don't have the mark of the beast and they won't be able to buy or shop or anything. And, and what is that? Is that if you got this thing? Was that the mark of the beast? I don't know. And Mr. High is talking about how they hate psychics. Well, yeah, that's part of this. That's part of this shit. That's why you're persecuted, collective. That's why you're stalked and harassed endlessly, endlessly, endlessly. That's why your karmic partner stabbed you in the back and turned on you, right? Armageddon. It's a big, messy fight. And you're in it. And you wouldn't be here if there wasn't some reason for that. You don't get recycled back into the ocean of samsara if you didn't do something to deserve it. It occurred to me, I must have done something to deserve it. I probably did the same thing to people. I might have stolen somebody's money in a past life. But I'm here trying to work it off. Stop thinking that, you're so good and you're so chosen that, you never did anything wrong. No, stop thinking that because you're down in the hell realm with the rest of them. Philosophical. Coward. Open your comments up, coward. I'm disgusted by these so-called chosen people who are too cowardly to open their comments up. And quit bad-mouthing God and people who love God. Why do you spend so much time talking about that? Why do you? All right. I shouldn't be attacking people, but I'm disgusted with everything right now. I'm so disgusted. The stalking and harassment has flared up on me again in a quiet but really obnoxious way. I'm so sick of it. But I'll tell you what, all day long, all I saw was signs everywhere, signs. Well, how that song goes. They were everywhere. I was being bombarded by signs. Doves flying and number 33, 33, 33 everywhere. And I don't know, it's everything you can think of. That's kind of a sign. And then, being busted into with the Rapture lecture and trying to break out of my hidey hole here and get out into the community and do things for and with other people. Getting involved in my community, trying to see what I can do out there with the knowledge and the skills I already have. Meanwhile, I'm doing my thing. I'll show you what I'm working on in a minute. Well, that's today's downloads for today. You are in hell too. Okay, so get up. Get up. Do-do-do. Get up. Do-do-do. Get up. Do-do-do. Okay, so what we're doing is look at all this stuff that's in progress that we're making. It's just going out of control. I'm trying to make like 100 pieces of art at once. I discovered this really cool clay that wait a minute, let me get like this so it's lit up. It's called air clay. I've been making things out of air clay. This piece isn't painted yet, but that's a little wall, evil eye for your wall. And let's see, what else? Here's another evil eye that's in progress. A square, circle in the square. Is that Masonic or what? Okay. What else? I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to say, I'm trying to do stuff I'm trying to be in my business while also getting involved with the community to share what I can do, what I know with people. And I've started noticing other people where I live who seem genuinely friendly. There's one person here that seems genuinely friendly, and I see her every once in a while. And she walks by my unit, and she doesn't have a car. And I think she might be a single lady. Looks like she's probably in her 30s. And she gets picked up in a van and taken to work by somebody. And then I noticed that she walked by my place on Sunday morning wearing a pretty dress, and she walked in the direction of where the churches are, so I take it she was going to church. So I'm going to try to make friends with her. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm ignoring the gang stalking. I'm ignoring the damn somebody steal your inheritance bullshit, because that's what it is. They just keep you hanging on hopium. You're high on hopium, waiting and waiting and waiting. What are you doing? That's just the way the Satan wants it. He wants you doing nothing, so you have no credit. You have no credentials to enter the kingdom. Okay, I think that's enough for right now. Peace out. Like, share, subscribe.